walls. As you can see, I'm going to show you guys where I am. So this is the Mets baseball stadium here in Port St. Lucie, Florida, where so all of the legends throughout history of the Mets have played here in their spring games. But today is the day where one name is going to be lifted high above every other name. And so we're getting set up here. We have sound check going on, and this place is hours away from being completely packed for 5 hours of nonstop worship and prayer. And guys, we are so excited. What a privilege. What an honor. This is our 6th year in a row of hosting a Let Us Worship New Year's Eve service. And what's unique about this year is we really felt led to not just do 2 hours or 3 hours like we normally do, but to do 5 hours. We went to the stadium, we said, what's the longest we can do? How many bands can we fit? Let's turn this Let Us Worship experience that we've had for the last 6 years, let's turn it into a burn. Let's do a full-on 5-hour burn where we have different worship leaders coming up, changing out. So we have worship leaders and musicians coming in from all across America, all across the state. And some of them you may know and recognize. And we are going to be kicking this off tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, in person here in the baseball stadium. And we're also going to be doing it. We're also doing online. So it'll be on Facebook. It'll be on YouTube. But what's really cool about this is not just the fact that we're going to have 5, 6, 7,000, maybe 8,000 people in this stadium for 5 hours of worship. But at the same time, we're going to have people worshiping in different cities all across America. And you're going to get to hear from them here in a minute. You're going to get to hear what they're going to be doing, where they're going to be worshiping. And I just think it's really special. You know, this is our last call. Every single month, we've done like an update call where we bring all the people that have prayed for Let Us Worship, been along with us in the journey, people that have donated just out of your generosity and kindness, people that have followed our journey. We invite you to come on and we share the updates. We share the testimonies of what God's done. Well, there's so many testimonies right now. I would just take up the entire time sharing with you. I mean, even just yesterday, we were inside of a max security prison in the state of Florida. And for the 2nd year in a row, we brought worship and revival into the max security prison. And yesterday, which was also my 20th wedding anniversary, so my wife let me sneak away. So thanks for all the love, you guys that have sent us prayers and notes and stuff like that. It's so encouraging. 20 years, it's amazing. And actually, 20 years. And yesterday, we baptized 20 new believers inside of a max security prison. So maybe there's something here with 20. I don't know. But let me just tell you this, guys. It was one of the most powerful services and times of worship. And I shared this last year, but I just want to reiterate, it's wild how we can be in a place where people are literally in solitary confinement. I mean, you had to go through like numerous security checks to get in, background checks, verified, all kind of stuff, barbed wire fences, huge, massive gates. But yet when you get inside and the presence of God shows up, it's like ultimate freedom. And I don't know if you got a chance to watch one of the videos that I shared from the baptism. I think it has like 500,000 views already from yesterday. And I think why it's so attractive to people and why it's like going viral is because these guys are locked down for life in this prison, but they're actually worshiping with more freedom than people who are living, quote unquote, free. And that, I think, is the biggest thing that has shocked me. Like, I go in there and we get to worship in the prison system, and there's going to be more to come, by the way. God has opened unbelievable doors to the prison systems across America. I can't wait to share. I'm going to share some of that tonight in the stadium. But the fact that they can worship knowing they have life sentences and they're actually never going to leave, that they can enter into a place of freedom more than most churches I get the chance to be with. It's just mind-boggling. And I was just praying as we were baptizing them and as we were watching God do incredible works in their life, I was just praying, God, give us that same kind of freedom tonight as we worship here in the stadium. You know, it's cold for Florida tonight. So it's like it's probably going to be in the 40s. I guess that's cold for everywhere, but especially for Florida. But I said, God, I want that kind of freedom, like in my life, in my ministry, with my family, like the abandonment to the presence of God that these guys carried. And it just was, there was something so powerful about it. And so, anyway, on the heels of that testimony, tonight, we're going to gather at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to worship through the new year. And we have fireworks, and we have food trucks, and we have baptisms. We're actually going to heat the baptismal. So you guys should thank us for that. We're going to heat the water up for the baptismal for the Florida people. And it's just going to be this pilgrimage, this journey in the presence of God, coming from one year into the next year. And I just wanted to share this quick verse, and I'm going to have some of these other guys share and tell you where they're going to be worshiping from tonight, because I just think this is so cool that we all get to do this together. I was reading Psalms 84. I think it's Psalm 84 today, and I'm going to probably sing this tonight. It says, you know, that he's brought us on a pilgrimage, and it's the verse that we quote often where it says you go from strength to strength. But before it says strength to strength, it says, as you pass through the valley of Baca, you make it a place of springs. And I was thinking about that, how, like, blessed are those who dwell in your house. They're ever praising you, right? I mean, right now we're doing this sound check. Wild gospel crew. We got some serious gospel music tonight. And we're going to be worshiping for 5 hours. We're going on a journey, on a pilgrimage with God, which is just a small picture of our life, right? Blessed are those who dwell in your house. They are ever praising you as they pass through the valley of Baca, which is called the Valley of Weeping. And I was thinking about the times this year of loss. You know, my daughter lost her 15-year-old friend in the beginning of the year. It was an unbelievable, traumatic, difficult time to walk through as a parent, but also as somebody that knew her parents and knew her. She was my daughter's really good friend. Walking my daughter through the loss of her friend. And then, of course, even just the loss a few months ago, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And there's been so much loss in different ways this year. And yet there's been so much beauty and so much breakthrough. But the thing about the worshiper, the prophetic worshiper, says when you walk through the valley of Baca, or the valley of weeping, you actually carry transformation in you, where you turn it into a place of springs. Meaning that it used to be dry, it used to be barren, there used to be weeping, but because you're a worshiping people, you're taking, and because you're going from glory to glory, you're taking from a place of weeping into a place of springs and into a place of new life. And so that's really my prayer tonight, that as we journey together in this stadium, as we journey online, because people are going to be joining us online. Guys, this is by far our most expensive event we've done all year. And I know I get people all the time that are like, Sean, can't you just do worship in the living room? You know, why do you need to get a stadium? And why do you need to, you know, pay $100 and something thousand? I think the budget for this is like 120 or 130. Why do you need to do that and fly in all these musicians and all these, you know, engineers and all that? Why can't you just do it in the living room? And I'm like, hold on. Because Jesus deserves the very best. He deserves, like, I'm not going to give him an offering that costs us nothing. I'm not going to, like, we're talking about entering into a new season, which we believe is going to be full of revival and hope and breakthrough. We're not going to just make it by. We're going to have the biggest Jesus party that we can throw. And I'm going to invite all my crazy friends that are willing to worship until midnight, and we're going to go for it. And we're going to give him an offering of praise. You think about people that ask that question have no problem going to an NFL football game where they spend millions, or a bowl game that's happening today. So many college bowl games, or just different events that cost thousands of millions of dollars. We can give him a sound from a stadium. Like, Jesus deserves it. And so tonight, this is an offering. And by the way, as I'm saying that, we would love it if you guys on this call would help us This is an extravagant offering that we're giving, and we need all the help that we can get. So even those of you that are moved right now, hearing this, watch what's happening. Maybe you're going to come. You want to sow an end of the year gift. It is all going to revival because that's our heart. And not only do we have this plan, but the very next event after this, we're going into San Francisco right before the Super Bowl. We're doing a Jesus March. We're bringing worship into the center of the Super Bowl, as we have done over the last 3 years. And then we have about 20 other cities on the Roots of Revival tour. And I'm going to share more about that tonight. But I want to encourage you, don't step into the new year without sowing something extravagant for worship, for the King, sowing your life, sowing your prayer, sowing your finances. So you can give, and that would be such a blessing to us and help us pull off what's going to happen tonight. Now, we have a couple cities I want to introduce that are going to be burning. Let's start with Jesse in Nashville. Tell us where you're from, what you guys are doing tonight, and what you're expecting God to do.
Man. Hey guys, how's it going? Jesse from Burn Nashville. Man, we are going to be burning from 7 p.m. to midnight Central Time here in Nashville at and we live at the Prayer House. We also live there in Nashville. What's significant about it is it's in a high place. We're overlooking the city of Nashville, just worshiping and pressing in. And we have worshipers from different prayer rooms around the greater Nashville area, Manchester, Tennessee, I think Milton, Tennessee, Lebanon, Tennessee. Worshiper from each prayer room is going to take an hour set praying over Nashville. And the theme of the night is on earth as it is in heaven. We live in the capital city of music, and there's a lot of noise happening tonight. Literally, we can see the music note drop from where we're at. But the Lord wants us to release the sound of heaven over the city, and he wants us to pray and worship that prayer, the Lord's Prayer, Matthew 6, 9, and 10. We're going to be going in 5 hours. It's going to be absolutely incredible. We're believing this for heaven to invade Nashville, worship city. That's what we're believing for. So we're looking forward to it.
Worship city. So we're going to be worshiping here in a stadium. You're going to be doing it in Nashville. And Miranda, you're going to be in Ohio. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So what's interesting about this one is we're actually not hosting it, but we got invited to this burn that they didn't even know that burn is a global thing. But they're just calling it a burn. And one of my friends who knows them, I don't really know them, she's like, do you realize that burn is like a global thing, and that, Montpelier, they're connected with them. And so I'm hoping to get to talk to them about maybe even being able to become a part of the official burn. So yeah, we're going to be there tonight. We got invited to worship, and it's from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., about 45 minutes away from us. So I'm so excited to meet more people who want to burn and pray, worship, and get connected with them. Their main thing that they wanted to focus on was unity in the churches and praying for the region, the state, the nation. So I'm really excited to partner with them and build new relationships and expand the burn.
That's awesome. So we got Nashville, we got Ohio, and I actually see a rock up there. Come on, Michael, you're in the Middle East right now, baby. Tell us what's going on there.
Yeah, we're actually with our team. We're actually here with Light a Candle. We are living here in the Middle East with Light a Candle. It's our missions organization that Sean also started. And we have a lady here that's looking to come long term, and so we're a couple hours. We're like 4 hours away from the new year, so we're a little ahead of you guys. We're about to celebrate the new year a little ahead of you, and we're just gonna be ahead of you, worshiping into the new year, and then we're gonna be watching you guys online. Me and Kayla are gonna stay up all night long so we can watch everyone's burn, everyone's thing. We're gonna be up, and it's so good. Yeah, so that's awesome. Oh man, it's just amazing to be able to be ahead of you. It's like, I don't know. It's very interesting to me. And Sean, I was going to say
how 2026 is.
Yeah,
tell us in a couple hours if it's better than this year.
I will. I'll let you know. I'm a little bit ahead of you. I'll let you know how 2026 feels.
I don't think it's going to be hard to beat this year. I mean, this year was great, but I think it's going to be way better. So,
Well, Sean, I was talking, like, when you were talking about the prison ministry, Miranda, like, we are doing burns all over the prisons in the USA. We just Miranda's burn just sent their burn out to 200 plus prisons in the USA. And so there's something there. There's something connected there
yeah,
that you said there's more freedom in there than in
yeah.
some churches. I think there's something there in
Wow.
2026.
Come on. And we got Ohio, we got Nashville, we got Iraq. We also got North Carolina. I see Thorsby on here. Y'all are been burning. What's going on in North Carolina?
North Carolina, I'm not even sure. We got so many things going on in different areas, whether we call them burns or something else. Jesus is worthy of it all. Sean, I'll come back to something you said just a minute ago with I can't give an offering from that which cost me nothing. I say it all the time, and it's so true. Sometimes we got to put it on the altar before the Lord simply because he's worthy. And we can't just go through the motions. We can't just check the box of religion. We got to do it because we realize how worthy he is. And there's going to be a lot of hours of burns and worship all throughout North Carolina at various churches. And I look forward to seeing what's coming in the new year. We've already got one on the calendar for the end of January. And at the end of the day, he's worthy of it all. So the more we can give, the more that others get a chance to encounter his presence.
Yeah, I was thinking about how, this thought hits me where I will not, like, never in the history of eternity am I going to regret the last 6 years in a row of worshiping through the new year. Like, it's never going to be something that I look back on in eternity and I'm like, man, I shouldn't have wasted my time worshiping Jesus with the angels and the elders. If anything, I'm going to look back on my life and think, I wish I did this every year. Like, why did it take me so long to figure out that this was what I should be doing? Like, that's why I think it's like part of this whole thing, guys, is it's like, it's not, I mean, we got production here and we got fireworks and I'll show you out here on this field, just so you can see. I mean, like, we got screens and like this is going to be filled with off there. These seats are going to be filled with that. But more importantly, like, we're joining with heaven. Like, we're joining with the eternal sound around the throne. And where two or more are gathered, he's there. And so all of you guys in all of your cities, like, I feel like God wants us to recapture the simplicity and the profoundness of the fact that we get to join in the chorus of the angels and the elders. And it's like, yeah, it's difficult to do this. You got to schedule it. You got to stay up. You got to drink a lot of coffee, especially Michael is staying up in Iraq. You got to mobilize. You got to work. You got to raise money. You got to convince people it's important. For us in the Met Stadium, you got to follow all these rules. You got to, we've been working on this logistical nightmare for weeks and months. But here's the thing, guys. He's so worth it. He's so worth it. He's so worth the pushback. He's so worth the lies and the slander that are told about us when we simply just want to worship Jesus. Like, he's worth all of that. And it's all a sacrifice unto him. So I see Nikki on here with her flannel Canadian shirt. And I promise you, Nikki, it's probably just as cold here in Florida as it is wherever you are in Canada. Try me. What's your temperature right now?
It's 1 degree right now.
Okay. All right. You win.
Yeah,
You
I win.
win.
It's cold. And we're going to go for a walk as a family pretty quick. So,
Hey, but one Celsius is like 32, and I think we're at like just over 40. So we're closer.
Yeah.
But, so what's happening in Canada? You guys going for it?
The Frozen Chosen. Well, actually, I think you'd love to hear this. You know, the young adults in Halifax?
Yeah.
They're doing a worship night tonight in Sackville, where you Let Us
Wow.
Worship last year. And so those were the ones that were inspired by Let Us Worship to start. And they've launched, they do a house worship night, 50 kids show up. And so that's, amazing. And then here on the West Coast, we've got all of our leaders are leading in churches across the Lower Mainland like tonight. So we're going to actually do a 6-hour burn on Friday. So we're going to be all coming together, all the different burns together here in the valley, and it's going to go for 6 hours on Friday. So we're excited.
Come on. Well, guys, this is awesome. I mean, you can't get better. Worship is happening here in Florida. Worship's happening in Nashville, in Ohio, in North Carolina, in Iraq, and in Canada. It's
Yeah.
like this, we're all joining together with this chorus around the throne. I'm getting hit actually with the wave right now. There's sound checking, and woo, it's thick. You can feel it. You can feel the presence of God here. So I just want to pray over you guys and really commission you today to take this eternal sound of adoration to King Jesus, and that this would be the marker of your life today. That as we look at the new year, as we lay down all of the stuff from the last season, I just feel there's a grace tonight to like lay burdens at his feet. You know, I was watching these guys yesterday as we were baptizing them one by one inside of this max security prison. And one of the pastors there in the prison was having them like lay their burdens down. I thought, man, that's what we need to do. Like leading into the new season, lay down the offenses, lay down the striving, lay down the difficulty, lay down the stress, and let's step into a day of joy and expectation. And, you know, we don't know what this new year's going to hold. You know, I mean, even tonight, we're going to be in prayer because there's all kind of plans of the enemy and terrorist attacks that, you know, they say that they're looking out for. There's all kind of stuff happening in our crazy world. But we believe that whatever comes, like it says in Psalm 84, we're on a pilgrimage where we can even turn the valley of Baca into a place of springs. And so, Lord, I just thank you tonight for the privilege, God, that we get to have here in this stadium, and that those all around the world get to have not just joining us online, but Lord, that they can join in a lot of their cities. I thank you for what you're doing in Nashville, in Ohio, in Canada, in the Middle East, Lord, that you're doing in North Carolina, that you're doing all across the Burn movement and every other church and community that's worshiping tonight. I just pray, Lord, that you would sync us up to your heart. Lord, that tonight would be a night of holy alignment. God, that as we get synced up to your heart, God, for what you want to do and how you want to use us in the new season. We just say, Lord, wherever you lead us, we want to go. So lead us tonight, God. Lead us into days of awakening. Lead us into days of surrender. Lead us into days of breakthrough. Lead us into days of joy. I pray tonight, God, that as entire families join together and worship in the stadium here, as people get baptized, or as people make decisions, many for the first time to follow Jesus, Lord, that it will be a fresh start. Lord, it'll be a fresh move. It'll be a fresh day. I pray that there'll be new oil, God. Would you give us oil tonight, a fresh outpouring of oil to burn through tonight. Lord, bless everybody on this call. Thank you for the privilege, God. Thank you that we get to be alive today at such extraordinary days. Bless you. Bless all of you that are on this call. May you be filled with the presence of God. And I can't wait to see you tonight online, 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. Bless you guys. Have a great night. Love you.